Welcome back to the Cryptolabs YouTube channel. Let's talk about base and making yields on base. We're going to look at Aerodrome. We're going to look at ExtraFi. I'm doing around $250 per day, and I'm up 30% right now over the last few days, which is pretty ridiculous. And there's been people asking about Beefy. Now, I really want to zoom out for just a sec before we talk about it. This isn't necessarily about you have to get into this opportunity. I want to talk about the overall strategy. We look at, hey, what chains are popping off? Where's the volume? Which assets do we want to hold for the long term? Which assets have potential for appreciation? Where is there a lot of volume, a lot of swaps and buys and sells and trades happening because we get paid those fees as liquidity providers, as yield farmers. And so yield farming to me is one of the best opportunities in DeFi, probably in all of finance, to make a return. And two, it's like semi-passive slash leveraged. Yep, there's a little bit of work learning this stuff. Yep, there's a little bit of work doing it and managing it. But once you get the swing of it, you can make some ridiculous numbers. So with that said, let's get into it. First thing I want to look at is if you head on over to Chains on DeFi Llama. Again, I really want to show people how to actually do this. We do have a free course as well, by the way. You can request it in the comments. The free course is about 3 hours long. We've had over 700 people now go through it over the last 2 weeks, and the emails I've gotten about it have been ridiculous. Like, it's been mind-blowing for people. So please request access to the free course. I will drop a link for you in the comments when you request it, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second here. But let's talk the juicy stuff. We're looking at base, right? Up 140%. 140% in total value locked over the last month. A lot of volume on base. It's where we're making a lot of our money. Now when I check out base, I can have a look at what protocols are attracting a lot of that TVL. Where's a lot of that TVL going? Well, on Aerodrome, we've seen a 162% increase over the last month. Uniswap 174. There is a lot of volume over Uniswap. ExtraFi or Extra Finance. That's what I've been yield farming on because I was taking on leverage. Now I just like the auto compounding feature. And then there's Beefy. Now, I'm not a massive fan of Beefy because they do take a big chunk of the fees, but I'm going to show you how to use it in case that's where you want to play with stuff. And then overnight finance is up 281% in terms of total value locked. And it's obviously a project we invested in as well. And we did really well. We started off with around $4,000, almost $5,000 total here. Now it's almost $17,000, $18,000, and we're earning $250 per day. Ridiculous. I'm also doing some lending, $5,345, which has also been profit I've been taking. I'm lending for 63%. Ridiculous. And I had some pocket change here that's making 50%. Always have your money working for you. That is the name of the game. That's number one rule. Have your money working for you at all times, no matter how small of amount you may think it is. It adds up. And then obviously I've been earning ExtraFi, and I've been building a bag of ExtraFi, which I have $1,800 of ExtraFi here. And I'm also staking another 10,000 ExtraFi, which is again around $2,000 at 165%. Also, because I'm staking over 10,000, I get extra perks on ExtraFi in terms of how much leverage I can take for the right opportunities. Now, Beefy is the same thing. I can go on Beefy, which I haven't used in probably 6 months. So I found $255 today, which is kind of a nice little treat. But I can also get into all these same pools. So, I mean, I could go in and look at this Aero USDC, 0.72%. Obviously, on ExtraFi, I'm earning about 0.8%. And on Aerodrome itself, the yields are very, very close to what ExtraFi is offering. And I'm going to go through that in a second. But on Beefy, I could go in here. I could say, hey, I got $100. Let's just do it. $100. And I can deposit this. It's going to take me through 2 different transactions. I'm going to approve this one. And then it's actually going to build the LP. So I'm approving. And then I'm going to build my LP. There it is. Confirm. Done. That will zap it in. And I've got $100 in this liquidity pool on Beefy. But Beefy does take fees. And they can actually be pretty hefty at times. So again, I'll go back to my dashboard, which is why I don't use them. But as you can see, I deposited that $100 on top of that or whatever. It looks like estimated yield is about $1, which is pretty good for $400. But you can see it here. and there is my pool, and making 0.72%. Now on ExtraFi in that same pool, I'm earning 0.8%, right? So Beefy does take fees, but Beefy is convenient. And what we're talking about when we're talking Beefy, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to expand on any of this. We've been producing a lot of content lately, and I just want to make this content around stuff you want. So please, in the comments, if you have a question, ask it, because we'll probably create a video for you. Here on DeFi Llama, we can go into categories. Again, please let me know if just sharing my screen and talking about stuff is helpful to you. And then we can go into yield aggregators, and we can see that yield aggregators, Yearn Finance has $338 million total value locked. Beefy has 269. What else have I used? I've used Kava, I've used Yieldiac, I've used Badger, I used ACryptoS, I've used Harvest Finance, Auto Farm, Pickle. I remember them back in the day. We just don't use these often because they take a big chunk of the fee and compound it over time. It does add up. So again, maybe, I mean, I do know people with a couple $100,000 on Beefy, but I guess it just makes the management of the whole thing easier because it's all in one place and you don't really have to touch it. But you're also trusting, another smart contract here, and interacting with Beefy. So ultimately, that's up to you. Now, you could do it natively. So instead of using ExtraFi for OVN or Aero, or instead of using Beefy, you could use Aerodrome itself, which is the actual DEX on the base. If I go back here, chains, we're going to go base. You will quickly see that Aerodrome has more value locked than Uniswap when it comes to DEXs. So it is the biggest DEX on base right now in terms of total value locked. And it's up 162%. It's generated over $250,000 in fees over the last 24 hours. Crazy stuff, and I love it. But you could actually find the DEX itself. So we're looking at USDC Aero at 289%. When I compare that to ExtraFi at 290%, again, very, very close. Here's this one, OVN, Overnight Finance, 671%. ExtraFi, we're looking at 667%. So again, extremely close. This is something completely different. We can cover that in a different video. So what I'm getting at is, and please check out the video in terms of the 7 rules for entering a liquidity pool we actually have. Actually, right before we get into that, if you look at our end of week report, if you're in the UIG, please check out the end of week report from yesterday. There's 3 new opportunities and they're juicy. So please check out the report. But if I go back 5-6 weeks ago, this is what ExtraFi looked like for me. This is just 5 weeks ago. People still call DeFi a scam. It blows my mind. This is what ExtraFi looked like. There we are. 23 and 22. Look at what ExtraFi looks like now. 10 and 77. 23, 22. 10 and 77. You want to position yourself. Where is the volume going? What coins or tokens do I want to hold for appreciation? And where can I earn juicy yield? Just in the last few days, I've almost earned $1,000 in just the fees, and almost $400 in just the fees on these two. And I'm pretty sure this was like 4 days ago that I repositioned all of this. I had to get out, take some profit, get back in. That's not bad. You can see I'm not making this up. $187 per day times 3-4 days. You've got your 866. And I can close this and take as much profit as I want. If I want to take off, $1,200 of profit, I can close it and take $1,200 of profit. Or if I want to take it all, I could take all 10K, done. Here on my lending, I'm making 65% on USDC. It blows my mind because I've been an investor for a decade. I'm like, I was happy making 10% a year. And I think people still don't see this. They think 64% is chump change. I'm like, this is life changing. And again, I can withdraw as much or as little of that as I want at any moment. That's obviously true for Aerodrome, and it's all true for Beefy as well. So you can see how quick that grew over 5 weeks. So please grab these end of week investor reports. It's one of the most valuable pieces of content we create in the UIG. And if you just get into 1 or 2 of the positions we talk about every week, you'll do pretty well. If you're looking for free stuff, the DeFi as a business, check out the free course. Please let me know in the comments if you'd like it. And you'll get a pretty in-depth course on the foundations of DeFi, the opportunity that DeFi presents, and where to find these opportunities, how to find them, the 7 rules for entering a liquidity pool, which I really hope you study this, where to find the opportunities, what tools we use, from my Merlin, Crystal, DeFi Llama, to entering a pool together, doing some basic support, resistance, and TA on this stuff, so you can actually be confident in your entry, and on and on. Plus, we post articles and have a lot of awesome stuff, plus some even live events, which we're going to be doing 2 times a month if you just want to get involved in some way on our live. So with that said, I know I threw a lot at you. I'm going to get out of here. But what I'll do is I'll move my little mug in the middle and give you some more educational content. Spend 2 hours on this YouTube channel. Check out 5, 6, 7 videos. Eventually, the language, DeFi is like a new language, but it just starts landing, and we're going to start speaking the same language, and that's when things will really start taking off for you when it comes to this DeFi game. So do check out some of the videos. I'll leave them in the corners of the screen. Study up, spend a couple hours on this channel, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else we can do for you. Any questions you have, leave them in the comments. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Peace.